Hi, I'm Carrie Knauer, and welcome to week 23 of my Home Life Remodel, and I'm happy to say that this week we have some good news. Josh had an off day on Thursday, and he and our friend Chet Myers, who you might remember, he was helping us with the cotton batten insulation that day. Well, he came over, took a day off of work, and helped Josh get some things caught up. And the biggest thing is, well, let's go to that now.
This is the fireplace that has been like 6 months in the making. We bought it in May. Here it is, the beginning of November, and it's finally installed. We just had lots and lots of problems. We were putting it off because we had other things scheduled. But here it is. This is a wood stove insert. So it's inserts. We have the original open hearth, but we filled it in now with wood stove insert, and it seems to be working. If you could smell through the video, you could kind of smell like a burnt paint, and that's because it's been, of course, never used, and it's kind of burning off the oils. So it kind of smells funky in here. That should go away, but we're trying to keep it above 300 degrees to continue the burn-off process of the paints and oil. Hopefully, if all goes well, it should heat most of the house. We're hoping that it will definitely heat the first floor, and since we have multiple layers of heat, we have circulators on the oil furnace, we might be able to, well, okay. I'm joined by my camera lady.
We've been working on the radiators for so long, and the floors. I still forget the radiators. Let's just sit right here forever.
We'll just have our bed right in front of the fireplace. It'll be like we live in an apartment again.
Or a little cabin.
A log cabin. Here we're directly underneath the stove. Originally there were steel bands that were put across to help support the weight of the brick. What we did here just to further support it, because the stove is probably weighing in at like 600 pounds plus all the accoutrements, what we did is did a lolly column under here with a pretty much a 3/8 inch steel plate again, pushing it back up. So here we're just kind of transferring a lot of the weight, so instead of it coming down just here and then sagging here, we were able to distribute some of the weight. So that's what we did.
So Josh didn't really put in the fireplace and the wood stove. Like people from Brothers Hearth and Home, Westminster did. But Josh and Chet were working on the radiators, which people are probably sick of hearing about. But they spray painted the last of them, including the giant one, which is behind me. I'll give you a better shot of that later. Chet was working on painting behind where they're going to go. We put the primer, and I'll be doing a first coat of the actual paint color the next day. And what else? Oh, they spray painted all the enclosures where the radiators reconnect to the pipes. Big thing about the radiators is next week they're supposed to get reconnected, refilled, and working again. We can already predict disaster with this, not because of the radiators, but because we did not reconnect the ones on the basement. We want to leave those off while we redo those walls. We're kind of just putting off the whole basement until we're done and ready to move in at this point. So there is concern. Since this was apartments, each floor is supposed to be able to have its own thermostat, work independently, but does that mean that a whole floor can be unconnected? That's what we don't know, and what our heating contractor is going to have to tell us when he comes out. Really, really hoping that it goes well, because the floors are supposed to start. The reclaimed wood that was specially ordered to match our heart pine floors is getting dropped off next Friday. Needs to acclimate to the rest of the house, and preferably with heat, because the heat is really going to help the whole process go smoother, help the drying times, stuff like that. So that's why we need to get the radiators up and running. So if the radiators don't work out, I don't know what we're going to do. Let me show you some of the stuff that we've been doing. So here is the giant radiator that we have that it took 3 men to move away from the wall. Josh really did a nice coat of the high heat silver spray paint on it. Here's an example of what the other radiators look like. The two from the living room and then the big one in the kitchen. As you can see, they all look nice and shiny and fixed up. And here is a final full picture of what our wood stove looks like. A little hard to tell without any lights on, but there is a brown trim inside of the black paint, like on the ridges. There, you can see it a little bit better. That's why we went with the brown paint on the external part, but overall are extremely pleased with it. There's no fire in it today because I'm not working on it, but really, really happy about this feature. And here is my own little personal project of the week. This is one of the floors upstairs where Sean redid a lot of the plaster, including the smoothing of the ceilings. And the floor looked absolutely awful. In fact, here's the part that I didn't finish, and the whole thing looked like that. But took about an hour, and really worked on this one. There's still some parts that I'm really going to have to get a bigger brush to work on or something. But overall, big step, because this is something we have to do throughout every single room in order to get it ready before the sanders come in. So, woo! Alright, so I think those are the big points for this week. We are moving the radiators back with our friends. Let's hope no one blows their back out. We're actually supposed to be helping some people move this weekend too. So a lot of strong muscle challenges that are going to be happening. Just praying that next week at the radiators are in the heat system, everything goes well, and that it'll be ready in time for the floors. Thanks a lot for watching, and turn back next week for more.